Hello, my name is Holly Murphy, and I am the Assistant Director of Special Education with Etowah County Schools, and I'm here to talk to you today about learning communities. This is part of an assignment for IL 614 personnel class at JSU that I'm taking working towards my EDS, and I hope that my discussion is something that you'll find valuable. Well, to begin with, we're talking about special education and professional learning communities. That's a big, big phrase there. I've taught special ed for, this is year 27, and I can honestly say I've never been a part of a professional learning community. So I'm very excited about putting these into my schools and working with several of my teachers to make this possible. So first of all, let's talk about what are professional learning communities. Well, professional learning community, by definition, is they're teams of educators who are working together to improve student learning. The ultimate goal of every PLC is to improve student learning. That's what we're all here for. How we get to it may differ, but that's the main goal that we have. Professional learning communities add to solidify the school climate. They make things more possible. They help faculty members decide what students need to learn, how to assess what's been taught, and how to troubleshoot any kind of difficulties that they may have in getting to that process. Some of the benefits of effective PLCs are that PLCs promote more centralized problem solving. It's a whole lot easier to solve a problem when you've got somebody to bounce ideas off of. And many times, as we've said in I have said in other situations, our special ed teachers don't have a core group. If you think about it in your schools, you may have a faculty of 45 people and 3 special ed teachers. Or even in a smaller school, some of our schools in Etowah County only have 1 special education teacher. They're kind of an island, kind of off to themselves at times, and many times people don't come to them with discussion about student learning unless there's a problem. PLCs promote better organized instruction. This helps the special ed teachers and the gen ed teachers to make sure that their instruction is well thought out, well planned, well organized. They promote more streamlined procedures for special ed teachers and special education educators as a whole. We have procedures in special ed. They're usually lined up for us by the State Department, and we have to follow those procedures. But many times, there's a whole lot of different discussion, and if we work in a PLC, we might find ways to streamline that and make it easier for everyone to follow. PLCs also promote a sense of community and camaraderie among teachers. Like I said, everybody needs a friend. Everybody in a school needs somebody to bounce ideas off. And when you have an effective PLC for special ed, then we'll have that. So when we use PLCs to assist in IEP planning, there's a process. To begin with, there are 5 phases that we go through in collaborating among teachers so that we can write sound goals. First, we begin by gathering information. We have to set the direction. Where do we want this IEP to go? Develop the IEP. We need to implement it and then review and update it to see if we've done a good job, excuse me, or if we need to reassess the goals and maybe make some changes. Who serves on a PLC team? Well, when we've talked about PLCs in class before and from other presentations, you know that there are many people on a PLC team. But if we're gearing something towards special education, I would say definitely we need the special ed teacher to be on that team. We also need some related service providers. Related services are your speech therapist, your board certified behavior analyst, or what we like to call BCBAs, your occupational therapist, your physical therapists. Any kind of related service provider can also be a transportation representative if there's issues on the school bus or whatever. There's all kinds of people that can come together and be a part of what we call related services. And school administration, your principal, your assistant principals, we need their input as well. They're over a big, great number of students, and they need to know what's going on with our special ed kids as well. And our special education administrators, which is what I do. We need to be involved in those processes, and sometimes you call on us to be a part of your planning procedures and things like that, and we need to be a part of those on a school-based. I'm hoping through this project, I'm hoping to be able to implement some of these teams in my schools. We have 21 schools in Etowah County that have all served special ed students, and I think these teams could be valuable in each one. We also need gen ed teachers. You know, sometimes our gen ed teachers, they are so busy. They have so much to do, and they have such a huge responsibility. But we need their input because their instruction is so important to what our students are learning, and we need to work with them as well, and they need to be a part of this team. So when you look at an IEP planning thing, you're on a fact-finding mission. I always tell my teachers, it's a mission if you choose to accept it. The box might explode or whatever after you finish, but it's a fact-finding thing. So how do we find the facts to effectively plan for IEP within our PLCs? We would need to talk about our eligibility assessment information. We'd also need to talk about our STAR reading or STAR math. We use that in Etowah County as a progress monitoring tool. We need to talk about the latest state level assessments such as Scantron or what will be coming in spring, ACAP. We need to talk about individual progress monitoring. Each teacher is going to have their own, there we go. Each teacher is going to have some of their own ways to monitor progress in class. Teacher-made tools are some of the best tools for assessment that we have. And we also need to look at how our parents and students feel. We're interviewing with our parents and students. Sometimes you can't get parents to come in for that. Everybody's got to work and things are hard. So what I have done in the past is send out a questionnaire and allow parents to fill that out, tell us what your concerns are so we can discuss it in our PLC meeting. So we can talk about this parent feels like this is a problem. How can we look at that to maybe address it, maybe solve that problem for them. And then our students, you know, kids can tell you all kinds of good information about themselves if you just ask them and if we really listen to what they have to say. Our secondary students are older. They're going to be able to tell you a little bit more in most cases about what works best for them. But our little ones, you're going to really have to be creative and listen to what they're telling you and let them help you. Kids do a lot better, I think, in school when they have a little bit of control over their learning. And this is a way to involve them in that. And lastly, we need to interview with teachers. There are all kinds of teachers in our building that general ed teachers that can help us better plan for our students. And if we take their suggestions in our PLC groups and talk about ways that we can plan and make this better, the information is just invaluable. When you think about the different teachers that we have, you know, I'm thinking on a secondary level, we've got music ed, we've got PE. Sometimes we have athletic PE. We may have students who have special needs in those programs, and those teachers their input is just as valuable. So lastly, I talk about collaboration. Collaboration in a professional learning community, it's the key. We look at it, it's a way to provide support to our teachers, working together, sharing ideas, being supported to update and knowledge and the skills. And then we look at it to build relationships in the center. You know, I talked about camaraderie, and we need for our teachers to all feel like they're part of the community. Excuse me. Okay, technical difficulty there. And then lastly, we need to talk about a challenge. It challenges our teachers to raise our student achievement through evidence-based learning conversations, and we all need to be a part of those. Thank you for your participation and your time.